videos from all over the internet that's going to make you question reality. Let's just start.
You use condoms and you think it's safe, but what if it's slowly poisoning your body? A 2014 Danish study found over 100 different toxic ingredients in condoms: hormone disruptors, carcinogens, glycerine, parabens, petroleum derivatives, phthalates, and nonoxynol, a spermicide that damages the uterus wall. Each condom contains about 1.5 milliliters of lubricant on average. If a woman is intimate 300 times a year, she's putting into her uterus over half a liter of this toxin into her body every single year. So my question to you is this really safe, or are we just misinformed?
Who lives there with you?
You know, when I purchased a home, it's not just for myself. I open the doors to, of course, family, but to the little ones in the community as well.
Strangers?
Yeah, we gotta inspire the youth. Because me seeing a home, me seeing that estate, that's what it did to me. It inspired me. I was inspired.
Okay. And so when you when you lay your
1,000
chains
kids
down,
could get in the pool. I can't just fill it up myself.
all right, that's very generous. That's very generous. I'm a little distrusting.
A lot of people used to always come to me and say, Rose, how you and Jay-Z got so many records together? And like I said in the book, what I tell you is not what make me a boss, it's what I can't tell you is what make me a boss. My life is a film, and what's not in the book is nothing that's gonna prosecute nobody, because what make me a boss is not what I say. What make me a boss is what I don't say. And real Miami real hitters know how I get down.
Yeah, the sacrifice is always worth it.
Most definitely.
Always.
Nobody ever said being at the top would be easy.
Did you know that if you climb this mountain and successfully reach the top, then you will get superpowers? Superpowers, huh? Bro, you completely lost your mind. That's crazy. No, I didn't. Because the locals of this place say that if you reach the top successfully, then you will encounter a paranormal thing that will either turn you to a smart man, so a wise guy, or a fool, so basically a crazy guy. This place is called the Haunted Mountain of Harfa, and I will tell you a story of a group that tried to climb the mountain to see if this is true or not. See, I'm not sure, but I think you heard the word haunted, so you know what to do. Save this video and come back to it at night so it's more enjoyable like that. The whole story starts when a guy who lives around these villages right here decided to leave his home at night. I don't know why he left at night, probably had some business to do. But anyways, when he was walking, he saw a car with 4 guys in it. Now, when the 4 guys who were in the car saw the other guy, they immediately left the car and went to talk with him. These 4 guys literally said, "Please sir, we need you to help us, please." So as you can see, we're not from here, we're from Turkey by the way, and we're not familiar with this area. So can you help us? So the guy who's from this area responded, "You do know guys that this is not an area for tourists. I mean, I would have loved to, but you see, when you got that scary mountain behind, for me, impossible." The 4 guys heard this, they were like, "That's exactly why we need your help. Because you see, initially we were 6, but 2 of us left to go climb that mountain." Like, 2 of your guys went to that mountain? Alright, they're cooked. Bro, what? What do you mean? And I'm just saying they're deep fried. I mean, call it what you wanna call it, they're probably by now. Bro, so are you helping us or not? I said what I said, but you know what? I will help y'all. So finally, they decided to head to that mountain together, in this car. 5 guys in 1 car. I can tell y'all that they were fighting for their breath before even arriving. Back to the topic. They arrived to the mountain and they started climbing. You see the lights? Yup, those are the lights of the villages. Look how far they are. Oh, they kept walking trying to find the 2 guys, and finally they found one of them. He was hanging in a really weird way. So you know the guys, they were like, "Hey yo, you can release now, we got you." Oh, this guy while hanging, he was like, I can't release." They were like, "Bro, what do you mean you can't release? Just release your fingers, you will fall, we will catch you, that's it." But he was like, "I can't release my fingers. I'm really trapped. Look at my hands. They are." They looked at his hand, they looked at the cliff, all of it was red. If you know, you know. He really can't move, he can't do anything. His hands are hurting so much, he stayed like this for hours. The group is here for a long time already, and he just couldn't move. But when they all got distracted because they tried to find a rope, you know, something tall enough to bring him down, the guy fell. Like this was intentional. Something was waiting for them to get distracted enough so he can... This guy in front of the group as a warning. Thankfully, 2 of them caught him before hitting the ground. When he got down, normally they asked him, "Where is the second guy?" You know what he said? He said that the mountain separated us. This only means that the second guy is way more further than this one. When the group heard this, they were not trying to risk it. They were like, you know what? Something can happen to us if we try to go up. Let's just call the police. Then, remember the guy who's from here, from this area? Yep, he was like, yeah, funny joke. No signal here. Man, what? For real? I mean, guess what? Let's just get back to the car and head to the closest police station, I guess. Yeah, but hold on. If we all go to the police station, what if something like this happens again? If we are on the police station, if the second guy falls, nobody's gonna catch him. My idea is 2 of you guys stay here with the car, so if the guy falls and he's hurt, you can straight take him to the hospital. Bro, are you a genius by any chance? Did you got the power because you climbed the mountain, something like that? No, I'm seriously asking. Is he a genius, man?
It's good
That's scared. 4 of the guys went to the closest police station and 2 of them stayed in a car. For a moment after, something fell and nearly broke all the car. Obviously the guy. But this leads us to another question. Why is this happening to the people who are trying to climb that mountain? Remember the name? Yup, the haunted mountain of Harfa. Locals really believe that jinns live in this place. Why are they saying this? Well, let's take this gate for example. This gate becomes the rock whenever a human being is approaching this area. And you need to enter this gate in order to climb the mountain. If the gate becomes a solid rock, well, you either can't see it because there are too many rocks, or simply you can't enter the gate anymore. People from these villages also hear loud knocking and music whenever night comes. Made it till here. Thank you for watching 4 minutes. 4 long minutes. And you know, I don't want to be annoying or something, but you know, Discord link in my bio. Go check it out. Thank you.
Do you know in
Crazy.
Tibet, some monks decide the day they'll die. Then they sit down and just leave. No hospitals, no monitors, just a quiet room. A monk sits in lotus position, eyes closed. They stop eating, stop speaking. They meditate for days, sometimes weeks. Then one morning, they breathe in and never breathe out. But their body doesn't rot, it shrinks. By morning, the skin is soft, bones gone. By sunset, nothing left but his robe and hair. They say he reached the rainbow body, transcended the human form. And sometimes people nearby hear a low hum, like someone still chanting. They say death is the end, but what if it's just a door?
Elon Musk just betrayed me and stabbed me in the back. What a joke of a guy he is. I thought I could trust him, but he pulled a Zelensky on me and aired me out in front of the public. So he could take his shitty little electric cars and leave my office. If I see him in the White House again, I'm going to use that special button that's under my desk and get him kicked out. And now I'm going to do the same and expose one of his dark little secrets. Elon Musk uses Gorilla Glue to build all his electric cars. Buying a Tesla is like ordering clothes from Temu. Looks cool in the pics, but falls apart after one use.
Hey, Orangehead. So Elon just stated that you are in the Epstein files, and Kalshi Prediction Markets gives you a 45% chance of releasing the Epstein files this year. So now we know why you're not releasing those files, because you don't want to expose yourself. What do you have to say about Elon snitching you out like this? Thank you, Orange Man.
First of all, Elon is just making stuff up out his ass because he didn't like my mega bill. I'm about to crash his net worth by $100 billion, and his little shitty Tesla shares are about to tank. He has bigger problems to worry about, like taking care of all his baby mamas. And I'm not going to reveal whether I'll release those files this year or not. All I can say is stay tuned to find out.
Okay.
Notice how he's making the cheese. Notice how he's putting holes in the cheese.
What? And
They've been at this for a very, very, very long time. Do you understand how much effort it takes to make a sequence of pictures, to create a video like this, and the amount of people?
Okay.
Oh boy, I'm gonna grab these teats! What would Goofy say about this? This is canonically Clarabelle Cow. Gorge, I've been caught. Look at this shit.
So what they're not going to tell you, though, is that Lucifer was in love with Lilith. And when God destroyed Lilith, Lucifer was really upset. I'm pretty sure that's what led to all of this. But when God decided to create Eve, he made her in the exact likeness of Lilith. And Lucifer was in love with her. So we all know the part where Eve takes the apple. But what they're not going to tell you is that eating fruit in the Bible is actually a reference to having sex. So Eve didn't really eat an apple. What? She had sex with Lucifer in the garden. What? And she got pregnant. But she also went to Adam, was with him, and got pregnant. I believe that Eve had 2 embryos, one implanted with Lucifer's sperm, one implanted with Adam's sperm. It makes sense as to why God loved Abel and not Cain, because Cain wasn't supposed to be.
Imagine there was a classified project called Operation Spectrum, using ultrasonic and electromagnetic frequencies to subtly influence people's thoughts, emotions, and actions, all without them realizing it. Certain frequencies have been found to cause everything from mild anxiety and discomfort to calmness and even compliance. By adjusting the frequency output, they can make a crowd restless, focused, or subdued, all without a single word. Theoretically, this could be used on mobile emitters, devices embedded in streetlights, traffic cameras, and even cell towers. These emitters would be capable of influencing whole neighborhoods at once, creating moods or reactions in the population without anyone noticing, using frequencies to calm crowds or disperse them without force. Let's just go ahead and say this is a joke for entertainment, if you know what I mean, don't you?
I mean, my baby boy, he's never leaving me ever. Ever.
Endless. Come on here.
Come on.
Jaden.
Crazy.
No, you know, it's I think when you have kids and you love them and you're proud of them, you just want to kiss them in the mouth sometimes. Keep a smile. Just keep a smile. Thank you, man. Thank you, that was great, man.
What's going on? What is this? This is crazy.
You were lost in a desert for some reason and out of nowhere you saw this light right here. Well, let me tell you that whatever you do, do not follow it, because this right here is a trap that will get you. This light you see when you're lost in a desert is in fact a jinn called Abu Fanus, which if you translate it literally means the one with the lantern. Okay, the name is tough, I'm not gonna lie. See, what Abu Fanus does is that he tricks people into following him. And I mean, think about it. You're lost in a desert, you're literally desperate, and you saw a light. You will do anything to follow this light because you will think that this right here is the person that will save you. No, unfortunately, you got tricked. That was not somebody that wanted to help. That was Abu Fanus, and God knows what will happen to you now. Bro, hold on. Do we at least know how does he look like? I mean, how do I know if it's him or not? Well, not really, because if you think about it, most of the people that saw him literally... So the opinions about how does he look like are really divided. The people think that he looks like this, a tall thing in a black robe, and instead of having a normal head, he has a lantern. Other people say that no, you can't actually see his body. The only thing you can see is the lantern he's holding. Hey bro, if I understand, you're basically saying that it's a 50-50 chance, right? It's either I go and it's Abu Fanus and I will be even more lost, and or it's somebody that actually want to help. Not exactly. That's a skill issue. Because all the people that know this area, the empty quarter area where you can find Abu Fanus, well, they noticed something about him. Things they noticed about him is that his light is really strong, okay? Strong and bright to the point where you can see it even if you are very far. Yeah, you're meant to see it so he can drag you. But you see, that's not the only thing. The way he moves his lantern will kinda hypnotize you, because the way he moves it is so slow but so smooth at the same time. If you think about it, no human will move a lantern this smoothly, because when you walk, especially on sand, your hand will tend to shake, okay? So the light will move all the time. Okay, that's how kinda people recognize him, okay? But sometimes, recognize him or not, it doesn't matter, because if he wants you, you're done. This is exactly what happened in the story that I'm about to tell y'all, so you know what to do. Save this video and come back to it at night so it's more enjoyable like that. The story starts when 5 friends decided to camp together, and surprisingly, they didn't went that far, okay? Not the empty quarter level, because they wanna chill, they don't wanna... We know how it goes. They were talking, chilling with each other until one of them noticed something. You already know what he saw, a light in the middle of nowhere. And this light right here was so smooth that it looks like it was floating. As you can see, he took his flashlight and then he told his friends, I'ma check what it is and then I'ma come back real quick. You're probably like, why did his friends let him go just like that? Well, first of all, like I told you, they were not very far. Second is, this guy that went to check was the most experienced one. Matter of fact, he was the one that brought him here in the first place. And he went after the light because he thought that it was was a shepherd holding his lantern, okay? He wasn't trying to act tough or any of that. Now, 5 minutes later, he didn't came back. This is where the whole friend group started getting worried. They got up and they started looking for him. They kept looking together, but they just couldn't find him. And they understood that things are serious now. After a long time of looking together, they couldn't find anything. Not a single trace or a footprint. Because yes, in the desert, sand moves all the time, so the footprints will literally vanish. So they decided to head back to the camp, pack their things, and go to the nearest police station to report that their friend went missing. On their way back to the camp, surprise, they found a person, and this person right here, they didn't know him. Seemed like he was another person with scary eyes, and he basically told them Abu Fanus is not a thing to mess with.
If you haven't noticed already, history repeats itself based on the patterns in the Bible. For example, we are all aware of the Antichrist that will come in the future and have total control over the world. But a lot of people don't make the connection that there have been many Antichrists that almost fulfilled the role perfectly. Just like Antiochus, the one who sacrificed a forbidden and unholy animal in the temple of God. Not only that, but placed an altar of Zeus as well. And we also have Emperor Nero. You know, the one famous for torturing all of the Christians. The point I'm trying to make is that there will be another one, and another one, and another one, until the final Antichrist comes. This will happen again in its own way. It doesn't have to be the exact same, but it's going to mirror it somehow. And I believe that we can find the metaphor to this, or the allegory to this, in Ezekiel's will. It's described as a will within a will.
This is the birth certificate of Donald Trump's grandfather, born in 1869, close to Bad Dürkheim, right? Yeah. That's called. And his Christian name was Friedrich. Yeah. That's serious German. Serious right? German name. Serious German. Bad Dürkheim is serious German. But I want to thank you very much for. First of all, I want to thank you for that. That's my beautiful. Pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you again. Fantastic.
My house just got swatted yesterday. What? Yeah, but
you got swatted?
Oh yeah.
The head of the FBI gets swatted?
Yeah. Yeah. These people play, it's the ultimate height of hypocrisy. They have two sets of rules. One against you and one for them.
This clip from von Braun himself saying the largest rocket that you can build can only achieve Earth orbit, and that's exactly what Elon Musk said. It's going to take 8 trips. Take a listen.
Here to reveal a plan for a trip around the moon is the chief of the guided missile development at the United States Army's Redstone Arsenal, Dr. Werner von Braun.
A voyage around the moon must be made in 2 phases. A rocket ship taking off from the Earth's surface will use almost all the fuel it can carry just to attain a speed great enough to balance the pull of gravity. Unpowered, it will then keep circling the Earth in an orbit outside of the atmosphere. This is the first phase. However, if we can refuel the ship in this orbit with fuel brought up by cargo rocket ships, it can set out on the second phase, the trip around the moon and back.
So each one of those...
America can't attack China without China's help. Some war pigs that I've covered at Indy.ca map the supply chain for some U.S. weapons, and guess where the supply lines go? Back to China. Let's look at the specific weapons they need to attack China over Taiwan. Other war pigs, like CSIS, say they need long-range anti-ship missiles, which they would run out of in days, air-to-surface missiles, which are not actually meant for ships. Vital components for these weapons are also made by China. America would need China's support to attack China. They would be attacking their own supply lines, which is new in the history of warfare because it's dumb. It's like that joke from the 53rd state, Australia, and I call it all one white empire because they're all the same to me.
So under this scenario, we're spending close to $30 billion a year to protect our trade with China from China.
What?
And that doesn't strike anyone at this table as odd?
That's so crazy.
What is the legal definition of the word legal? This is going to just kick your butts when I tell you what the definition of the word legal is. It is the undoing of God's law.
Oh, really?
What is legal is not lawful. And what is lawful is not legal.
What?
Let that sink in for just a second. What is legal is the undoing of God's laws. All throughout the Bible, God taught us a lot of things, and I studied the Bible very, very well for a lot of years. And I went to every religion on earth that I could go to. I've been to China, I've sat with the Buddhists, I've been all over this world. When I was in intelligence with the government, when they had something that dealt with religion, they sent me. They sent me into the basement of the Vatican with a group of people to look at the lost scrolls. And we brought out, the United States government brought out of the basement the Maccabees, Esther, the Wisdom of Solomon, many books of the Bible that weren't in the Bible. Okay? And there's many more down there. Many more. The Catholic Church suppressed us like you wouldn't believe. They kept so many things hidden from us. There are books of the Bible that reveal exactly what is happening in this world today. And we recorded it. And we know what it is. And anyway, I'll go into some more off camera.
Right now, the Bitcoin's around 105,000. Our forecast for 2030 is $1.5 million.
So you think Bitcoin will potentially multiply in value by 15 times in the next 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that'd be pretty crazy.
The building blocks for that, the three biggest building blocks are institutional, which has barely started, store of value or digital gold. Young people are much more comfortable with digital gold than gold.
So on the institutional side, that means institutions, investment institutions start investing in it.
Mm-hmm.
Young people start investing in it as a way to save and store their money.
Yes, yes. And then the very important use case that many people do not discuss is how important Bitcoin and stable coins, which are backed by U.S. treasuries, are going to become to the emerging markets. In emerging markets, many of them are at the whim of policymakers who show no discipline in fiscal or monetary policy. And so they're used to going through booms and busts and booms and bailed out by the IMF. And they need an insurance policy.
So if you're in Venezuela, you need a currency that's going to be stable.
Exactly.
This is not a drill. What you're about to see could change everything you thought you knew about Elon Musk, Hakeem Jeffries, and Donald Trump. A secret deal. One tech billionaire, one Democratic leader, and a betrayal so bold it left Trump with no choice but to go public. Guys, we're talking about masked ICE agents being compared to neo-Nazis, Tesla vehicles vandalized at the White House, and Elon Musk firing off Epstein accusations in the middle of a government contract meltdown. But the truth, the real truth, it runs a lot deeper than a Twitter feud or a few angry sound bites on Fox News, because President Trump just exposed a back-channel alliance between two of the most powerful men in America, Hakeem Jeffries and Elon Musk. And what they've been doing behind closed doors is going to leave you stunned. ICE agents are under attack, guys. Trump loyalists are being forced to choose, and the future of America's tech and border security is hanging by a thread, all while the media looks the other way. Now, stick with me, because in just a minute, you're going to hear the exact quote that Trump says proves this secret alliance. Plus, we've actually uncovered the footage of Elon Musk threatening to pull the plug on U.S. space operations unless he gets what he wants. It's betrayal, it's bold, and it's all caught on camera. But first, let's go ahead and break it down piece by piece, because Trump is not done blowing this thing wide open. All right, guys. Oh, by the way, if you appreciate the daily news updates, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. So let's start with what no one is talking about, but everybody should be asking. Why are Hakeem Jeffries and Elon Musk all of a sudden aligned on the same exact battlefront? One's the House Minority Leader, the other one is the richest man on earth. And yet somehow they're both coming after the same target, Trump's America First agenda. Now, I think on the surface, they look like opposites, right? Pretty opposite, but under the hood, they're all starting to make sense. Hakeem Jeffries has been relentlessly attacking ICE agents, calling for them to be unmasked, even while violent assaults against them are up 413%. Meanwhile, Elon Musk owns X, the platform where that doxing and harassment is playing out in real time. Coincidence? I don't think so. I mean, you got Hakeem Jeffries using political pressure to strip federal agents of their safety, and Elon Musk providing the digital battleground and battlefield to do it. One controls Washington, the other one controls the algorithm. And together they've got the power to destabilize everything that Trump's trying to fix. But that's not all, because Trump just made a move that proves this wasn't just political backstabbing. It was personal. Remember that bright red Tesla that was parked near the West Wing? It was brought by Trump himself, back when he still believed in Elon's vision, of course. Well, that was really a symbol. It was essentially an olive branch, a message to the world that the president of the United States believed in American innovation. But now that Tesla is either being sold or given away. Trump is done. And the reason he's cutting ties? He believes he got played. He boosted Elon Musk's business, protected his government contracts, and got essentially stabbed in the back the moment it mattered the most. That red Tesla?
What is a strawman? Picture this, a legal entity created around the time of your birth, represented by your name, but written in all capital letters. This isn't a misprint or a stylistic choice, but rather a deliberate creation of a separate entity. This all caps name of yours is not you, but a straw man. A straw man, as defined by the world of law, is a fictional entity. When you see your name written in all capital letters, what you are looking at is your trade name, a symbol of your participation in the world of commerce. But why all capital letters? According to standard English grammar, proper nouns, such as names, should not be written entirely in capitals. Thus, this all caps name isn't your true name, but a legal construct. In the 7th edition of Black's Law Dictionary, a person is defined as a human being or an entity, such as a corporation, that is legally recognized as having rights and obligations akin to a human being. The straw man is considered an artificial person within this definition, a concept that is further defined as an entity, real or theoretical, legally considered human for juristic purposes. The straw man is also considered a legal fiction, a hypothetical scenario recognized by law to achieve a specific objective. Just as a novelist creates characters to tell a story, the law creates legal fictions to handle complexities. However, it's crucial to note a distinction here. The straw man, or the artificial person, is not the same as the living, breathing individual. In legal terms, this individual is referred to as a man. The term man holds its own legal definition, referring to a human being of the male gender, an adult male individual, and more broadly, it can refer to both adult males and females and children. The straw man, this artificial legal person, is essentially a dormant entity. It exists within the theater of commerce, operating under the international law of the sea. In contrast, you, as a living sentient being, exist under the sovereign common law jurisdiction, or the domestic law of the land. The creation of the straw man, this artificial legal person, through the registration of a birth certificate, is akin to creating an estate trust, such as the Emster John Doe Trust. Any individual who unknowingly enters into an agreement with this legal fiction name inadvertently assumes responsibility for the purported debts of the trust as its trustee. However, a well-informed individual can disassociate from this legal fiction name and assume the rightful roles of controlling agent, beneficiary, and executor or executrix for the trust. In conclusion, a straw man is a legal fiction, a separate entity from the living individual, created and used within the realm of law and commerce. Understanding the concept of a straw man can help individuals navigate the intricacies of legal and financial responsibilities and rights in their lives.
So what do you really think these things are for? Let me know in the comments what you think these are. Furthermore, why don't you type in Gwyn Towers into the search up there, Gwen Towers, and feast your eyes on that and let me know what your thoughts are.
I don't think that Trump and Elon beef is real. I think it is ritual theater and a stage initiation. Let me explain. If you're not familiar with the story, look into Hiram, king of Tyre, and Solomon. Also look into Hiram Abiff as well. I want you to consider very carefully, outside of political drama, what's actually happening with tech and consciousness right now. I want you to consider all the things I've talked about on my page. Project Stargate, OpenAI, SoftBank, Then think about Elon's place in it, especially some of the things that they've been showing in public media right now. Both men represent the pillars of this new world order that's being formulated specifically in America right now. So it's very performative. Think of like tech versus politics, red versus blue, the elephant versus the donkey, which, funny enough, when I think of elephants, I think of them having very strong memories, which could be connected to technology, and then the donkey or the jackass, right? In order to anchor the public into the show, you have to give them a performance. Think about how many people. It's like the intermission before the grand stage starts. And I remember Elon posted already on his Twitter about how we were going to be uploaded into a new matrix. And even though they got all the astrologers on it and all the people who are like so obsessed with like the performative social media of it all, elites do not argue amongst one another. They don't have time for that. What they're doing is setting you up for what's coming next. Especially during Gemini season. Come on, y'all. You think they're not tuned into everything from astrology to numerology? And everybody's like, his Mars is opposing his Mars. You think they don't know that? People who are very high up that level understand magic from every level. Attention powers simulations. Let's say this again. Let's say it really slowly. Attention powers simulations. You really think it's a coincidence that the two pillars, which are taking place of the masculine and feminine, you got two masculine forces, same as the British crown, how you have the new Pope and then you have King Charles. Do you really think that they don't know what they're doing in the game that they're playing? It's everybody else that's the audience. This is the perfect anchoring into everything that the Matrix talks about. Extracting energy, influencing, and utilizing neuroscience to do it. It's quite insane if you ask me. I just don't look at it from the America's dads are beefing. I look at it as this guy is literally trying to introduce a Neuralink chip. So think about it like this. Sam Altman is the new pretty girlfriend. Elon Musk is the Melania, and he will not be ignored. But he has the legacy science technically because him and Sam Altman were actually in business together. I'm like, y'all, this is why Kanye said, happy birthday, Kanye, that they were all in bed together. You don't remember Famous where it had Trump in there with Kim Kardashian and all that? I don't make things up for the fun of it. It is so plainly obvious that this is not serious. It's just the fact that the public is taking it serious.
It certainly was.
Crazy.
Until this guy changed it from Trump to Trump to sound a little less German. Let's talk a little bit more about where the real Drumpf family legacy really came from. Donald Trump's grandfather, born Friedrich Drumpf in Bavaria in 1885, aka Germany, fled his homeland for the US at just 16 years old. Why? Because he didn't want to serve in the military. Yep, he was a draft dodger. Does that sound familiar? Well, it should, because decades later, his grandson, Cadet Bone Spurs, would pull the exact same move to avoid the Vietnam War. But back to Grandpa Drumpf. Among the jobs that he worked in the US were working as a barber and allegedly running a saloon as a pimp, where he allegedly rented out prostitutes to gold prospectors, since he had failed as a gold prospector himself. He eventually moved to New York, bought some real estate, and married a fellow German woman. When he tried to go back home to Germany, they stripped away his citizenship and deported him from the country for being a draft dodger. So he came crawling back to the US. And that, folks, is how the Drumpf family legacy really began.
Why is nobody talking about the fact that the same man who created the school system bought out the medical industry? This was his name, if you didn't know. Richest man in history, and he did not just build oil empires. He built systems. In 1903, he created the General Education Board. The goal was never to benefit children or educate them. It was created bottom up to teach obedience and to destroy creativity and intuition. Then in 1910, he funded the Flexner Report. This shut down natural medicine schools, labeled herbal homeopathic healing as quackery. Why? Because he invested in petroleum-based pharmaceuticals. He reshaped medicine to sell his drugs and reshaped education to make us obedient enough to take them. You think that was random? That was design. I am building something different. Foundation for children who still hear their intuition. For the parents who never stop trusting theirs. Exciting stuff is coming, so if you want to be here to see it, give me a follow.
Have you guys ever noticed how people who become massively successful, like Jim Carrey, for instance, like gets on the red carpet and says things along the lines of like, this isn't all real, everything's stupid, everything's dumb. You'll see people who reach their dreams start crashing out, and they kind of negate the fact that like the struggle and the money that they got allowed them to now have a spiritual experience. I actually think that getting really rich is the most spiritual thing you can do, because the minute you're no longer worried about surviving, you can actually turn back in. Once you reach a material end and you see that that's not the answer, that's part of the answer, but it's not the full answer to your fulfillment, you'll have to go back internally, because there's no other material end for you to go to. So I think everyone should actually get very rich, because it will essentially push you so deep back into spirituality. And then from both of those points, you'll have a very balanced life at the end.
Okay. Movement looks similar. Yes, it does.
Soylent Green is a real thing. You're being fed people. That's a whole other subject. It's biblical. It's in the Bible it says that's what's going to happen, and it's going on right now. Putin is not joking. Putin knows all kinds of stuff. Do you honestly think that a man with so much power and people underneath him that do, undercover work and know what's going on, and they're in the dregs of deep down in the gutters of watching what's going on in this world and searching out and tapping people's phones and companies and corporations, you think he doesn't know what's going on over here? He knows. When he says Soylent Green is being weird, that's what we're eating, he knows. He's seen it. I guarantee you he's seen it with his own eyes.
Damn, crazy.
So I don't eat fast food anymore. I don't eat out. In fact, I don't eat out, and I don't eat fast food very rarely. I think a couple times in the last several months I've gone to Chipotle, but that even gives me the ick now. I just no, the Lord says, my Father says, nah, you know what, here's what this is. He tells me what to eat. He tells me what to eat. He tells me how to clean my vegetables, my fruits, and what meat I can eat. So, there's a lot going on, you guys. There's a whole lot going on. And if you feel like you're this...
People crazy.
Oh my god!
What's down there? What's going on down there? And we've come to the end of today's video. The last video was crazy. How can that be? Like, how can a big pillar have a hollow foundation? It's crazy. So what is it on? This is crazy. This is super crazy. But then yeah, we've come to the end of the video. I mean, we're always discovering something crazy around the world, and it's unbelievable. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share with your friends, and also click on the notification bell icon so that any content that I post, you will be the first to get it. Adios amigos, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.